Hi, welcome to THP News. We're here with Chris Fanning and Matt Mersinger.
Today we have for you exclusive interviews with all the presidential and vice presidential candidates. First up, we have presidential candidate Nick Wigington of the House Party. We were lucky enough to catch Mr. Wigington after he got done saving the family from a burning building.
I'm here with Nick Wigington, presidential candidate of the House Party. Nick, I have a few questions for you today. What would you like to change about our education system, especially considering the No Child Left Behind and Common Core standards that we have now?
Well, I think that in order to be a more competitive nation, in order to have more competitive students and by extension more competitive research on par with countries like Japan and Sweden and countries like that, I think that we need to eliminate Common Core standards. I think we need to integrate technology into education and tailor to the needs of the gifted and not so much water down our education pool.
All right, thank you. And some hot topics right now are legalizing marijuana and the issues over gay marriage. What are your feelings on those?
I think the will of the public is obvious. National marijuana legalization is inevitable, and once that is done at the national level, it'll just be a new cash crop for us. And as far as gay rights go, again, the national attitude is obvious. Our administration fully supports legalizing and protecting same-sex marriage and transgender rights and the rights of other sexual minorities.
All right, and what do you think we'll learn from the other parties as we go forth in our interviews today?
I think that we'll learn that a lot of their policies and their plans are deeply disturbing and deeply troubling, and some of which actually pose a threat to our 50 states.
All right, that is all. Thank you. Next up, we have Vice Presidential candidate Sam Goss from the House Party. Sam recently returned from helping the less fortunate in building schools in Africa. Hi, I'm here with Sam Goss here, also called Kenny. He's the vice presidential candidate of the House Party, and Nick is your president. How do you feel about him?
I think Nick is a supreme leader. He has everything it takes to do everything right, because it's Nick.
All right, very well said. And how do you feel about the policies of the House Party?
The House Party, we've got everything right on track. Everything is good for success. We will always win because we are the House Party.
And as I go on with my interviews today with Chris, what do you think I'm going to learn?
I think you're going to learn some surprising things about the other parties. Some things that we will not need to adapt to as a country because we will just lower our standards with like healthcare, education, and foreign policies.
All right, thank you.
Next up, we have presidential candidate Abigail Schrader of the Birthday Party. We caught up with Abigail after making bail on her Grand Theft Auto arrest. Off to you, Chris.
Next up, we have Lillian Barkley of the Birthday Party. Let's take it off to Matt.
Next, we have presidential candidate of the Matt Party, Jacob Bennett. We caught up with Jacob fresh off his inauguration into the Westboro Baptist Church. Off to you, Chris. I'm here with Jacob Bennett from the Matt Party, presidential candidate. Jacob, if you could be a kitchen utensil, what would you be and why?
I would be a fork because they're super effective at their job and require precision.
Coke or Pepsi?
Dark soda rots your teeth and is unnecessary calories, so I don't encourage soda drinking for anyone.
Okay, interesting. How often do you drive over the speed limit?
Only when I'm trying to save people from burning buildings and things like that.
If you could eliminate one state, what would it be and why?
I wouldn't eliminate any states. I would create more so we have a more fair and balanced voting process.
And finally, when you lose the election, what could you have done differently?
I'm not going to change anything.
Next up, we have Logan Hirschbach, Vice Presidential Candidate of the MAP Party. Off to you, Matt.
Finally, we have for you angry voter Jared Ellis. Jared has been fed up with this party and he just wants to get his word out. Off to you, Matt.
All right, we've heard from everyone, and Nick, I'd just like to ask you a few follow-up questions. First of all, tell the people listening to this interview how it felt when you fought off them terrorists with your bare hands.
It felt terrific. I was imbued with the power of the American spirit and defended freedom the way freedom should be defended.
True soldier there. Also, one of our other candidates said that she thought that Montana was useless. What do you have to say on that?
I think that is a completely incorrect statement. I believe Montana is one of our nation's national jewels. It's got a beautiful landscape. It's a great place for cattle raising, and also it is definitely not worth being talked down about.